Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on MisplacedStraws.com, where music comes to life. My guest today is one of the true legends of classic rock. His band Grand Funk Railroad remains one of the defining bands of the 70s, and he continues to perform with his solo band. He's about to release a new live DVD called From Chile with Love. Please welcome Mark Farner. Welcome, Mark.
Hey, good to be here, Brother Jeff.
It's a pleasure to have you. And let's start off with this upcoming DVD. And now, due to some issues with the virus, the release date for it has been pushed back a bit to April. But these were shows that you recorded on a tour down there in 2019, correct?
Yeah, it's in Santiago, Chile, at Teatro Caupolicán. It was a theater in the round that just lent itself to a great evening, and the excitement of the audience and the emotional waves that hit that stage. Wow. And it's all captured, and you can hear the audience that they overcome the PA with their volume. It's just awesome. The 16 recorded tracks or performance tracks.
Go ahead.
I was going to say 2 bonus videos and 5 bonus songs.
Oh, so there's a lot on there.
Yeah, for $14.99, such a deal.
And I believe if it's ordered off your website, you also have signed copies available too. If I'm not
That's
mistaken.
right. All the pre-orders will be signed by yours truly. And my wife Lisa and I take $3 from every DVD sold, and we give it to Veterans Support Foundation, which is an organization that helps veterans returning from the wars to, get on their feet, to adapt back into civilian life, to have somebody to advocate for them to get what they have coming for putting in their time. And I'd like to give an 800 number. If somebody knows a vet that needs help, or you see a vet sleeping on the street, get them this number. It's 800-882-1316. That is a toll-free 800-882-1316 at Veterans Support Foundation.
Great. And we'll get that number out there when this posts up as well.
Thank you, Brother Jeff.
Now, was this your first trip playing down there?
No, we had played South America before. We played Venezuela with Grand Funk back in the early 80s. I think it was 81 that we played in Caracas down there. That was our first venture into South America.
And it's weird, during the heyday of Grand Funk, you guys did a few overseas shows, and then again, when you got back together in the 80s, down to South America. But as big as a band as you guys were, you never really toured too extensively outside the U.S. Was there a reason for that?
I wouldn't know what it was if there was a reason. I didn't have anything to do with where we were playing. We were, with our booking agents, and you're just kind of at their mercy.
And part of the legend of Grand Funk Railroad, as we talk about some big shows here, is the Shea Stadium show. It's one of the concerts credited with really launching the era of the stadium show. But when it comes to the performance and getting ready for that day, what are your memories of playing Shea Stadium?
Well, the day was a beautiful day all day long. We were in New York City. We were, excited because we knew it was a sellout crowd, and we knew that it sold out and, faster than the Beatles sold out, which really, for us, put us up on cloud 9. And the fact, Jeff, that billboard in Times Square that covered an entire city block with our 3 faces on it, it was the cost of that was like $50,000 a month to rent it, and we were up there for for the first month, and then the billboard workers went on strike for some reason, and we stayed up there for an additional 4 months, for free.
And you got your money's worth.
Hey, that didn't hurt that show at Shea Stadium. That didn't hurt that show at all.
And, you wrote the vast majority of the band's output, and when the initial breakup in '76, you had a couple of solo records out right away, and then over the years you've had a few solo records and some singles, plus the reunion stuff that the band did sporadically. Does creating new music still hold an interest for you? Do you still write regularly?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I love to write music, and you know who Jim Peterick is from the Ides of March?
Yep.
Well, Jim and I are writing partners. There's a couple of us right there that write together, and you know who Mark Slaughter is?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mark Slaughter and I are getting together to write. Yeah. And I like to, Jeff, because it's different, from all the Grand Funk stuff, man. It was like they would shut me in a room and let me write it. Or they would go down to either get some McDonald's or Burger King or something, to grab lunch. And while they were gone, I was supposed to write the songs. And I did. I mean, okay, you guys go get something to eat. I'll have the song done by the time you get back. And I swear to you, this is how it happened, dude.
Do you like now, though, collaborating with people like Mark Slaughter and Jim Peterick and people like that?
Well, I do, because I feel like there's more of a bigger picture that we feed together, because the love is that much more extensive. When you get a guy like Peterick, he runs on love. He's a very loving fellow. And, I mean, listen to his songs. He's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
There's a lot on his heart, a lot on his mind. And I enjoy, back and forth when you're in a room and you got a line going and you're writing a verse, and then all of a sudden it's like Peter will say something and then I'll say something. We'll hit it back and forth kind of, and then we'll grab between the two. It's like, oh yeah, there it is right there. Man, it's a blast. It really is. It's a challenge. But part of my conditioning, Brother Jeff, is that I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to music. I never, ever listen to music unless I want to dance. And Lisa and I push back the coffee table, get everything out of the way, and we'll cut a rug in the living room. So turn on some Howard Tate, turn on some Motown, and just tear it up for a couple hours. And yeah, it's good exercise, and it's good for the soul, because it is. Love. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned kind of just dancing and, getting it out with the music. And I think that's one thing that's really been missing this past year or so with the pandemic is, missing that live music and getting out there with, like-minded people and having fun. I mean, what's it been like for you to not be able to get on the road and play?
It has been very difficult because I miss the community. I really miss not being a part of that universal language that we all love to get out and dance to and to shake our heads and shake our butt to. It helps us, get on with life. And the live performance inspires not only the musicians who are on that stage and getting the accolades, but it inspires the other musicians that are in the crowd, that are watching, young people that are going, man, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. So all of that has kind of been put on the back burner, and we do these Zoom videos. I did Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, and I did Lucha's podcast. I've done a lot of podcast things with people, But I had never done anything like this, prior. And when you're done with a song, though, when it's live, like you say, the audience, man, it's like they are just begging you to get it. They put enough gumption into you. You want to pour another 10 songs out of you. But without that reaction, without the audience participation and the encouragement that you get from the applause and the hollering, man, it's like you quit playing a song in front of your computer. There's just you and the computer there.
Yeah, dead silence.
Like, it is so strange, dude.
Yeah, and I think one of the other really cool things about this live DVD you have coming out is that it's one of very few live, whether it's videos or audio, that we've gotten from you in a really long time. I know there's been a lot of legal issues going on with the band, but is there legal reasons that keep you from being able to put out some of this live music, or is it just that the time and the show never felt right?
No, there's the legal part as well, but all that comes from hatred, kind of, just bad blood that I don't even like to acknowledge because, why dwell on something bad? I feel sorry that the audiences are not getting the real band, and I feel bad that the guys didn't have the conscience to tell people the guy that wrote and sang 92% of the music is not going to be with them tonight. So consequently, I've heard a lot of people that come to my shows and go, yeah, I went and saw those other guys, but, we thought we were going to see you, but it was somebody totally different. But, there's not any integrity in the music business. I mean, I can't say there's not any, but there's very little. When you got bands, going out there and they say it's the name of the band, but they don't even have one of the members of the original band in there. How honest is that? The advertising is just totally dishonest, dude.
And, though the other lineup of the band, they've been together a while now and out on the road. Do you guys ever kind of come across each other on the road? Have you heard their versions of your songs, or is it just they go do their thing, you do yours?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I'm not interested in hearing their versions. I mean, I'm interested in hearing the original version with the original singer playing to our fans who would really appreciate the original version.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of stories over the years as to why the three of you aren't together. The band says, well, he just wanted to go back to his solo career. And you've kind of detailed sort of the signing away of your share of the band, a little bit of a shady manner. But considering the boost it would be for all three of you guys, do you ever see a time where just all that bad blood could be reconciled and it's Mark, Don, and Mel again?
I do, but I have been pitching that very scenario to the other two guys every year when I get with them for the shareholders meeting of the corporation. I'm a shareholder. I'm not an officer. I don't have any say-so over anything that gets done in that corporation, and that's kind of the pickle that I'm in. But I have, for over 20 years now, I have pitched, why aren't we going out and giving the fans what neither one of us can give independent from each other? Why don't we bury the hatchet, go out for the sake of our fans, God bless them, and give them the band, give them the real deal. But I always get shot down. But I heard, though, somebody told me they read a interview quite a few times. I've heard this where Don says, "Well, never say never," but that's just something that'll get you on to the next question. It's never really in his mind to never say never. He doesn't want to. In fact, everything else, every sign that I get from them is contrary to that ever happening.
And we also just recently got the announcement of the 2021 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And once again, you guys were left out. Considering your success, does it surprise you that, I mean, not only you guys, but a lot of your contemporaries of that, kind of arena rock movement of the 70s are just completely ignored by the Hall?
It doesn't upset me as much as I feel so bad because the fans are getting manipulated like people are getting manipulated by lamestream media, because the only reason that Grand Funk is not in the Rock Hall is we don't have that brown ring around our lips that it takes to get in there.
Yeah.
And we don't bow to that God. It's it's politics there. It's not the will of the people. If it was the will of the people, Brother Jeff, Grand Funk would be in there. They wouldn't have took so long for Kiss. I mean, there's a lot of bands, dude, like you said, of that era that just they belong there. If it was for the numbers and the sake of their popularity, I mean, hands down, they belong there. And there's a lot of people that are in there that don't belong there because they did never get to that plateau. But it's a political machine, and I think Steve Miller kind of summed it up.
Yeah, I was there that night when he did that. Yeah, I was in the crowd when he gave his speech, and he wasn't wrong by any means.
Yep.
Now, but if there ever is a time that Grand Funk gets in, do you think that would be the catalyst for at least one night of the three of you guys on that stage playing together?
I would hope so. I've pitched them on, every occasion, at least once a year, sometimes twice a year when I get the chance, but it's just fallen on deaf ears. Yeah. And even though it is fiduciary duty to the officer of the corporation to produce the most income for that corporation, they are not taking that serious.
Well, and just kind of changing gears a little bit, this new DVD isn't your only new project. Talk a bit about the work you've been doing with Alice Cooper recently.
Well, the Breadcrumbs EP we did at Rust Belt Studios in Detroit, and Alice and Bob Ezrin, God bless him, he just had an operation, had a little medical problem, but he's good. And what an intense human being.
I can imagine.
Wow, what an intense dude. And then being able to be in the studio with Wayne Kramer from the MC5 and Johnny Bedanchik, Johnny B from the Detroit Wheels, and laying down the law with those guys and playing this music, this old Detroit stuff, Susie Quattro and Seeger's, East Side Story. It's just stuff that really, when they started pitching me on doing this, I said, man, it's cool, man. I thank God that Alice is grateful for the area that he was born and raised in, and he's taking his hat and tipping his hat and saying thank you. I love being a part of that. And he is such a gentleman. I mean, what a rock star gentleman he is. He's a good Christian brother. And I've gone to lunch with him. I've watched, and when he's like, his fork is halfway between his plate and his mouth, somebody walks up and goes, Alice, could you sign it? He'll put the fork down, dude, grab their pen and sign it, whatever it is. I mean, what a gentleman this guy is. And he attends to the fans. He's real, and I love him. I love working on the records. And one really good aspect of that session, we used a bass player, Alice used a bass player from Detroit, and Paul Randolph. And what a surprise we got from him. I had never played, of course, but Johnny B had never, and Kramer had never played with him. But, man, sitting down there, he had it. He had the feel. And then when it came time for the background vocals, we went out to overdub the background vocals. And Paul's up there probably 6'4", 6'5", something like that. And I'm down at, 5'7". I'm looking up there at this guy, listening to this really high voice coming out of this big dude. Beautiful. And I asked him, I said, hey, would you be into doing, my band? Because I'm trying to cut down on my expenses, and if everybody came out of Detroit, wow, that would really help. And so he honored us and came out and tried out. Of course, he made it. No problem there. And what an addition, what a great addition he is to Mark Farner's American Band.
Yeah, and there's always just been something about the musicians from Detroit, and so it's great to see Alice bringing all of you guys together. And it's your song is on his Breadcrumbs EP, which came out earlier in 2020, so that's out everywhere now. And it was cool to hear all of you guys play together.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Brother Jeff.
And we've been spending some time here with Mark Farner. He has a new live DVD called From Chile with Love coming out in April. As he mentioned earlier, all the pre-orders off of his website come signed. It's a great package. There's a ton of stuff on it. And if you're a fan, this is definitely something you need to check out. Mark, I can't thank you enough for taking some time to do this. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you.
Well, Brother Jeff, I've had a ball talking to you, and I appreciate being on your program there, Misplaced Straws.
Well, thank you very much. And hopefully when the world gets back to normal and you're out on the road again, you're out here on the East Coast, we'll come by and get to catch a show and say hello in person.
That's a damn good answer right there.
Looking forward to it, my friend.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You bet. Bye for now.